We are live in 3, 2, 1.
We don't take the time out of our day to influence elections with our vote. I mean, we're not really being American.
Super Tuesday is tomorrow, a day that gives Utahns more of a say in who the party nominates.
Everyone we identify as positive, we have to go through that exercise of identifying who they may have had exposure to.
The coronavirus is spreading, leaving 2 dead in the United States.
And a major pileup closes Interstate 80 in Wyoming. Welcome to Newsline. It's Monday, March 2nd. I'm Andrea Cabrera.
And I'm Bella Erickson. Super Tuesday is tomorrow, March 3rd. It's a day where more than a dozen states, including Utah, will hold primary elections.
Newsline reporter Soraya Farmer is live in Provo. Soraya?
Super Tuesday is the closest thing the United States has to a national primary. This gives Utah voters more of a say in who the party nominates to run for President of the United States. The Democratic Party ballot has 15 candidates, while the Republican only has 5.
The more Utahns that participate, the better. It's going to put Utah on the map politically, and it's going to give Utah more of a voice nationally in our politics.
The candidates see this day as the most important on the Democratic primary calendar because there are so many candidates to vote for, and if one does well, it could give them a possibility to become the President of the United States.
If we don't take the time out of our day to influence elections with our vote, I mean, we're not really being American. We're not choosing the people we want to represent us. We're not going to have a say in how the country's run and that our values are supported and that what we believe is being protected.
So voters need to know that if they want a Republican ballot, they need to go to the polls and register as a Republican there and then vote that day. If they want a Democratic ballot, they can still contact our office and request a Democratic ballot. They can also vote at the polls and request a Democratic ballot there as well.
Voters must mark one party declaration box and can only choose one candidate in their declared party for their ballot to count.
If you can't get your ballot postmarked by today, you can still vote in person.
To find out where you can go to vote on Super Tuesday, check out the website vote.utah.gov.
After a rally in Salt Lake City this morning, Amy Klobuchar is ending her presidential bid. Klobuchar is a senior United States Senator from Minnesota. She spoke at the rally at the Depot in Salt Lake City at 9 o'clock this morning. After a half-hour speech, the rally was over and Klobuchar announced her decision to drop out. Klobuchar is now endorsing Joe Biden and will appear at his rally in Dallas tonight. Bernie Sanders is also in Salt Lake City to campaign today. His event began just a few minutes ago at the Utah State Fair Park. Sanders is the frontrunner in Utah. He leads by 28% according to polls released by the Deseret News and the Hinckley Institute of Politics. Sanders also visited Utah 4 years during his previous presidential run.
Pete Buttigieg has dropped out of the race for the Democratic presidential nominations.
Making the difficult decision to suspend my campaign for the presidency.
Buttigieg's decision came just 1 day after Joe Biden scored a victory in South Carolina. Buttigieg believes that his best way to accomplish his goals and ideals is to step aside and bring the Democratic Party together. He has not endorsed any of his rivals, but urges Americans to move beyond politics and embrace inclusivity.
2 people have now died from the coronavirus in the United States, and a total of 89 cases have now been reported in 10 states. Whitney Weil is in Washington with the latest on the virus and the government's response.
We could have more sad news, but the American people should know the risk for the average American remains low.
The coronavirus has now turned deadly in the United States, claiming the lives of 2 men in Washington state. The number of confirmed U.S. cases of the virus jumped by 24 over the weekend.
We discovered what we believe is the first case of coronavirus here in the state of Rhode Island.
And thousands more are being monitored, tested, or are under some type of quarantine across the country.
Everyone we identify as positive, we have to go through that exercise of identifying who they may have had exposure to.
Lawmakers on Capitol Hill are negotiating a multi-billion-dollar spending package to deal with the virus. Sources say it could be as much as $7 billion, far above the $2.5 billion the White House requested, but lower than the $8.5 billion Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer proposed. Democrats have blasted President Trump for his handling of the virus, at times contradicting the Centers for Disease Control and other medical experts on the severity.
Best way to deal with something like this is let the public gain full knowledge and all hands on deck.
The coronavirus is now in Utah after a man was infected in an outbreak on vacation. Mark Jorgensen from St. George was infected in a coronavirus outbreak on a cruise ship in Japan. He is quarantined in California, and on Friday he was transferred to a high-level isolation unit at Intermountain Medical Center. Jorgensen requested to move so he could be closer to home. He and his wife were passengers aboard the Diamond Princess cruise ship that quarantined hundreds of people earlier this month.
Asked if I could go somewhere closer to home, and they accommodated that.
An Intermountain infectious disease physician says that Jorgensen is showing no symptoms of the virus. The outbreak of the virus began in China and has spread to tens of thousands of people around the world.
I-80 in Wyoming is shut down right now because of a 50-car pileup. A truck driver got part of the madness on video. Take a look. The accident took place on I-80 between Rollins and Wamsutter. Over 100 vehicles were involved. Dangerous roads and winter conditions caused the chaos on the freeway. I-80 westbound from Rollins to Laramie is closed. The eastbound lanes from Rollins to Rock Springs are also closed. It is unknown when the interstate will reopen. 3 deaths have been confirmed.
Medical cannabis is now available for purchase in Utah today. While 14 medical cannabis pharmacies are planned statewide, only one is open today, Dragonfly Wellness. Located at 711 South State Street in Salt Lake City, will have their grand opening in about 50 minutes at 1 p.m. Patients must get a medical marijuana card from a physician who is registered with the Utah Department of Health before they can make a purchase from a dispensary. For more information, go to medicalcannabis.utah.gov.
An escaped inmate is captured and now back in jail after a traffic stop in Idaho. Last Wednesday, 40-year-old Caleb Wewant disguised himself as another inmate, Matthew Belknap, in order to escape Weber County Jail. Wewant gave Belknap's name, birthday, and social security number to the staff. The staff thought he was Belknap, who was scheduled to be released later that day. Wewant was picked up by a woman from California. Police pulled the car over for a traffic stop near Mountain Home, Idaho, and found Wewant inside. He was arrested and returned to the Weber County Jail.
The Utah House is advancing a new bill that may change the way you drive. Cassidy McKinney joins us live in Provo. Cassidy, what will this bill change?
Yeah, this bill aims to better enforce laws banning the use of cell phones while driving here in the state of Utah.
Good boy.
Meet Sheridan Shepard. She is one of nearly 2 million drivers here in the Beehive State and has been in several car accidents on Utah roads.
I've been rear-ended multiple times by distracted drivers, and every time it's been a traumatic experience for me.
The drivers who have hit Sheridan have all been on their phones, too distracted to pay attention to the cars in front of them.
One time my car was totaled and I just couldn't get around for weeks, and my brother was in the car as well.
This is exactly what House Bill 101 hopes to fix. The new law would make holding a phone while driving, whether the driver is texting or talking on the phone, a primary offense. Phone use while driving has been illegal in Utah since 2007, but can only be enforced simultaneously with another traffic violation, such as speeding. According to the Utah Department of Public Safety, distracted driving caused more than 5,000 crashes last year, resulting in 27 deaths. Democratic Representative Carol Moss is the bill's sponsor. She says this is about changing habits. It's not hard. Changes to the new bill included reducing penalties. Many Republicans said were too harsh.
Under the updated bill, your first offense is just an infraction, rather than the earlier proposed misdemeanor, which would cost you 90 days in jail along with a $750 fine.
Sheridan hopes that the bill will protect others on the road from distracted drivers.
I think it'll prevent a lot of accidents and tragedies that don't need to happen.
Now that the bill has been endorsed by the House, it'll move to the Senate and be voted on later this month. Reporting for NewsLine live in Provo, I'm Cassidy McKinney.
Thanks, Cassidy.
Utah lawmakers pass a bill which bans license plates with discriminating messages. This bill was spurred by a license plate with the phrase, "deport them." Several complaints were filed with the Division of Motor Vehicles, and the plate went viral on social media. The legislation will ban any message that discriminates race, color, national origin, religion, age, gender, sexual orientation, citizenship status, or a physical or mental disability. The bill now goes to Governor Herbert.
The Harriman City Police Department held a memorial service to honor Police K-9 Hondo, who was killed in the line of duty.
Thank you, hero, for bringing my brother back to his wife, his children, his friends, and to me. Godspeed, warrior.
The service was held on February 29th at Harriman High School. Police K-9 Hondo was killed on February 13th while assisting the U.S. Marshal's Office in apprehending a dangerous fugitive. Members of the Harriman Police City Department paid tribute to Hondo during the service.
Teachers are marching at Utah's Capitol.
6%! 6%!
We'll tell you what their demonstration demands.
They make you pale, they put fake sweat on you, they put dirt, they put lots of blood.
BYU Emergency Medical Services stimulates a mass casualty incident. What EMS hopes will teach students and the community.
Roots Tech celebrates its 10-year anniversary. We'll tell you the event's theme and the featured speakers.
Plus, after a wintry weekend, here comes the sun. How long the warm will stick around, and we'll take a look at the work week ahead up next.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You can achieve a lot using your imagination. I mean, I don't like to brag, but... Wait, who's that? And why is she all over these achievement awards? But with STEM, the sky's the limit. Shaboom! Use STEM to envision... Okay, I'm seeing it. Yeah. Invent...
Got any ideas?
I've got a few, actually. And create a better world.
Told you she's super smart.
If she can STEM, so can you. Find out more at She Can STEM.
Jeff Foxworthy here. You know, if you've ever found yourself repeating the same thing for 75 years, you might be Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Well, thing is, there's a lot more to say. Like if you've ever found yourself burning yard debris and then walking away, well, you might be starting a wildfire. So for the love of the outdoors, go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
Teachers march on the Utah State Capitol to demand more funding for students. On Friday, the Salt Lake Education Association organized the march starting in downtown Salt Lake. They marched to the Capitol carrying signs urging Utah legislators to increase the funding for Utah education. At least 1,000 teachers participated in the march. The teachers dressed in red and brought signs encouraging lawmakers to pay attention.
6%! 6%!
Utah is one of the lowest states in the nation for per-student funding. The Salt Lake Education Association hopes to get a 6% increase for that funding this year. This was one of the many marches the SLEA has organized in Utah. According to their website, their mission is to promote professional advancement to provide quality education.
This last weekend, the 10th anniversary of the world's largest family history event, Roots Tech, took place in Salt Lake City.
Every year when you come to Roots Tech, you really can feel an energy here.
Roots Tech had a record-breaking attendance this year of nearly 30,000 participants. The event, themed The Story of You, aimed to help people discover their family heritage. Elder Gary E. Stevenson of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles and his wife, Lisa, were the featured keynote speakers during the Saturday's Family Discovery Day.
Brigham Young University is preparing for the possibility of a mass casualty incident. NewsLine reporter Ashley Irwin attended a drill held on Saturday. Ashley?
The drill on campus was run by BYU Emergency Medical Services to practice their skills in an emergency situation.
MCI, which is an abbreviation for a mass casualty incident, is when there are more casualties than there are people and resources to help out.
Volunteers allow makeup artists to create fake injuries on them and receive acting instructions for the drill.
The makeup artists put all your makeup on. They make you pale, they put fake sweat on you, they put dirt, they put lots of blood.
After makeup is done, the volunteers go to the designated location and lay in wait for the responders.
As a victim, you're just kind of laying there for a lot of the time, just screaming and asking for help.
The team of responders receives a call to the scene where they triage the patients in categories of urgency, then treat them accordingly.
This semester's MCI was very successful. We had a great turnout and a great run-through of how an MCI should flow in regards to getting there, taking care of patients, and moving them away from the scene.
The practice drills simulate high-intensity situations to create the illusion of stress, urgency, and pressure.
The EMS and the nursing students are being trained to do this, and so it's good practice for them.
The Emergency Medical Services team hopes to educate students and community members about how to respond if such an emergency were to happen.
BYU EMS has been a great volunteer organization that has allowed me to learn how I can be a better community responder and just play a role as a citizen in helping out other people.
The drills will continue to run every fall and winter semester to allow those involved to practice their emergency response skills. Reporting for Newsline, I'm Ashley Irwin.
Utah has the highest rate of skin cancer in the country, according to the American Cancer Society. Newsline reporter Ashley Pasley found out why Utah tops the list and how to prevent and identify skin cancer.
Many people enjoy being in the sun, but don't realize the effects.
For the last little while, Utah has been #1 in the nation for melanoma, beating out even coastal cities like Florida, cities in Florida, cities in California. But it's still interesting that Utah, a landlocked state, has high incidence of melanoma.
Researchers blame the Utah skin cancer problem on lack of knowledge. Many people living in the mountains and the middle of the country away from beaches and oceans do not think the sun can hurt them.
I just don't think people kind of realize how much sun they're getting, even, just on an everyday basis.
We're not entirely sure. I think some of it definitely has to do with just a lack of sunscreen use, or the idea that we're in a high desert, but people out here tend to be in denial that we're in that type of climate.
Skin cancer has a variety of different forms, and the most deadly is melanoma.
The way we identify that a mole is cancerous or not is using a method called the ABCDE method. You look at asymmetry, border, if it's kind of jagged, color, if it has multiple colors, diameter, if it's over 6 millimeters, and evolution, has it changed over time?
Doctors say the sooner a person identifies a mole and determines if it is cancerous or not, the better chance they have of treating it.
It's important for us to inspire people to be able to look at their own skin, to identify whether a mole is cancerous or not, and to get them to the dermatologist.
So wear your sunscreen, put on your hat, and protect your skin from the dangers of the sun. Reporting for Newsline, I'm Ashley Pasley.
Incredible video out of New York today where some homes are completely covered in ice. These waterfront homes are on Lake Erie, and all of this ice is the result of 2 straight days of gale force winds and freezing temperatures. Look at that. Some people on social media are saying that it looks like a scene out of Narnia. All I can say is I'm grateful it's not what Utah looks like right now. With our winter storm we had over the weekend, we did get a little bit of impact on our snowpack. So this is the snow to water equivalent. You can see we're over 100% along the Wasatch Front, looking really, really good. This is going to make for a nice summer that our reservoirs will be filled, our lakes will be looking good. Down here in the south, though, Escalante River is looking good. Dirty Devil, Beaver River, though, is the one that is the smallest in snowpack to water equivalent right now. Now, across the Wasatch Front today, we have got some beautiful skies out there. It's going to be a nice day. We're going to continue to warm up. You can see just some clouds right here, but a nice blue sky. Our temperatures today are going to be nice too. Let's take a look at our temperatures across the Wasatch Front. Look in Logan, 37 degrees. This is still a little bit cooler than we had last time in the week, but we're going to be jumping back up in our temperatures. So Salt Lake City, though, today at 43. Provo at 45, Vernal over here at 39, and Moab at 56 degrees. These overnight lows are all in the 20s, so still freezing overnight, but St. George, you're hitting 34 degrees above freezing. Now for the 5-day forecast for St. George, look at this. You're going to have sunshine, but you're going to warm up all the way to 73 degrees on Friday. It will be a partly cloudy day, but you're going to have a nice warm up. It'd be really good to be down there this week. Up in northern Utah, though, across the Wasatch Front, we do have some sunshine into Thursday. Our temperatures will reach 64 on Friday, but that rain shower shower that you see coming on Saturday, that's just a slight chance. We can't tell how that will impact your weekend plans just yet, but basically it's going to be a nice kind of typical spring week with a little sprinkle maybe coming on the weekend. Not too bad.
That is great news, Danny.
Yes.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is just the best time of the year. We've got everything's
March
warming
Madness
up.
is warming
We got
up.
March
Oh,
Madness.
yeah.
We got the WCC tournament coming up. Coming up, Yoli Childs is making a case for the WCC Player of the Year. Find out just how dominant he has been this season. Also, the BYU volleyball team is off to one of their best starts ever. Find out their tough matchup this week coming up.
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes and you come to mine. This is it, first impression, my way in. But can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Like that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or being the first one to always step up. No, that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent that is dedicated, hardworking, and determined like me.
They call me Prince like I'm royalty or something. But the places I've lived ain't no palaces. So I don't need grilled salmon or a new scratching post. Just give me a cardboard box and a can of tuna and we're good. You can even change my name. I'm cool being the kitty formerly known as Prince.
Hey, Kevin, you thinking about retirement?
I'd love to, but I'm pretty busy with all this.
Yeah. Hey, let's meet our retirement coach, Avo. A is for taking action.
Not anxiety?
No, Kevin, you're gonna be fine.
You sing?
Barely. V is for variety.
And you dance?
Sort of. Come on. O is for optimize your savings.
Let Avo lead the way.
Visit aceyourretirement.org today.
Nice.
Thanks.
BYU men's basketball is the number 15 ranked team in the country, following their dominant close to the regular season on Saturday night.
How about more Yoli Childs for you? In case you haven't had enough.
Following a dominant second half and a career-high 38 points and 14 rebounds by Yoli Childs, the number 15 Cougars pulled away 81-64 over Pepperdine, closing out the regular season with 9 straight wins. This win now locks BYU into the number 2 seed heading into the West Coast Conference Championships, which tip off Thursday in Las Vegas. BYU has been a different squad this season with Yoli Childs on the court. Following his 9-game suspension to start off the season, the Cougars have been 18-4 with Childs back in the lineup. Yoli is making a good case for WCC Player of the Year. He ranks first in the WCC in points per game with 22.7, second in rebounds per game with 8.5, and third in field goal percentage, shooting over 57%. The Smith Fieldhouse was home to over 5,800 BYU volleyball fans Saturday night as the Cougars extend their win streak to 16. BYU volleyball took care of business against a talented Stanford squad. With this win, the Cougars are off to their second best start ever. However, this next matchup will be their toughest yet. This week, BYU travels to the island of Oahu to take on the number 1 ranked Hawaii team. Both teams are undefeated. The match will take place on Thursday at 11 p.m. Another big win for the Cougars this weekend as the number 19 ranked BYU gymnastics squad takes down Illinois State. BYU earned a score of 196.85, their second highest of the season. This extends their win streak to 6. This week, the Cougars face in-state rival Utah State in Provo on Friday. BYU football spring camp begins today, and finding helmets, gloves, shoulder pads, and 140 football players takes a lot of time and hard work. NewsLine reporter Mitchell Price went behind the scenes of Brigham Young University's equipment manager, Billy Nixon, to see behind the curtain of BYU football.
I'm here with equipment manager Billy Nixon to talk about what it takes to equip the entire BYU football team.
Nixon says the amount of gear the team goes through each season is staggering. What's more impressive is how the equipment room stays on top of it.
You have to be organized. It's all about process. It's all about being methodical about everything you do and being prepared. But you also have to be flexible because it's constantly putting out fires that you weren't anticipating for. In this job, there's a whole lot of forecasting.
The equipment staff arrives every morning by 7 a.m. to help players and coaches. Nixon says they stay as long and as late as they need to. usually several hours after practice.
Every day, 7 o'clock, we're in here. We're also here for the coaches. So if coaches are in the office, we're in the office. This whole organization, I like to tell people, it's like running a Foot Locker just for a football team.
They facilitate around 170 players, all the coaches and support staff with gear year-round. They also fix helmets, provide cleats, gloves, socks, and workout clothes. Nixon and his team say it tends to feel like a family.
It almost becomes kind of the family where we're the Santa Claus. The only difference is Christmas happens 365 days a year for these football players.
Nixon believes when it comes to preparing for games, you can't be too prepared.
We pack for rain even if we're playing in a dome.
Laundry alone takes 18 hours to complete, and the team goes through at least 6 gallons of bleach just like these each season. Nixon says he hasn't taken many breaks during the last 5 years, but his love for the players and the program keep him passionate about his job. Reporting for BYU Newsline, I'm Mitchell Price.
Meet the scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you.
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Well, it looks like Donovan Mitchell has a new best friend.
That's right. Take a look at this video.
You're my best friend.
Except I don't think that you've ever met him.
What? No, I play with him all the time.
House of Highlights posted this video of a boy right after his wisdom teeth removal. Excited to go to Donovan Mitchell's basketball camp and repeatedly saying that him and Mitchell are best friends. The video has been retweeted over 1,000 times, and Donovan Mitchell responded himself, claiming that he is his new best friend.
Wow, what a story.
What a funny kid.
Anesthesia, man.
Thanks for joining us today for Newsline.
For more information or to share your stories with your friends, check out our website at universe.byu.edu/newsline.
Have a great day.